So I haven't made a video on Meet Kevin in a long time, and I am breaking that streak today because I found something extremely disturbing that we have to discuss in this video. So Kevin is actually, I saw it on one of his recent videos. I just went to his page and said, I wonder what this clown is up to. And sure enough, I found out real quick. So Kevin is, so first off, for those who don't know, he originally was selling seats on his plane, and I exposed that, and he basically changed it and he rebranded it to Shadow Me Kevin for a day after I exposed it. And I talked about the fact that, you know, what is it, the FAA? He was probably going to get in trouble by them because you can't do that. You can't buy a plane and sell seats unless you go through the proper channels and regulations. And so now what he did was he said, okay, well, I'm just going to bypass the system through a loophole. Instead of telling people that, you know, fly on my plane and pay this amount of money, what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to say, hey, shadow me Kevin for a day and keep it quiet, but you can still fly on my plane. That is literally what's happening. However, what's really funny and interesting here is he basically tripled the price. And that's why I have to make this video, because I'm just like, wow, this guy, like the levels of grift this guy goes to are incredible. It really, honestly, truly is the worst grift I've ever seen, the lengths that this guy goes, but he wouldn't be charging this if people weren't paying it. So obviously there's some sucker out there that he's got that's willing to pay this amount of money. Let me show you guys real quick. So this is the shadow thing. Join me and my team for the entire day. Like I said, this is literally just him rebranding the plane thing. Remember when he was bragging about his plane? He bought that several $1 million private plane, which is so stupid. By the way, I still think he's going to regret that significantly in the years to come. I don't know when it'll happen, but that's going to backfire in his face because he just doesn't have enough money to afford that. But that's a different story. So basically, you get to join him in his team for the entire day, hang out with him, blah, 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 blah. And this man is charging $8,000 to do it. And it's funny because I remember when I was making fun of him. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I remember when I was making fun of him in one of my videos about his private plane. Matter of fact, I already got it pulled up. I was making fun of him. Well, I made fun of him for this too. So he said that he was charging $4,500 for a phone call, which is absolutely insane. And then I made a video about him where I just roasted him for that jet. Oh my God, I had a field day. I'm sure you guys remember. I was making like 2-3 videos on this guy a week when he bought that stupid jet. That was insane. But when he did that, I was roasting him. And I brought up the fact, because I went back and looked at my old videos. During that time when I was making videos on him and he was charging people to fly, you know, on the plane with him, his private plane, he was charging $2,900. Well, he's taken the grift to the complete next level. He's just lost his mind. He said, well, you know what? $2,900 is a lot, but my fan base is so dumb. They are overwhelmingly willing to pay me $2,900 to get on my plane. So why not just triple the price? People will pay it. And that's literally what he did. He tripled the price to $8,000. And I love this section right here because it's so funny. What can I expect with the full day option? The intention is for this to be an opportunity for you to shadow Kevin. Be prepared for anything. There will be, of course, plenty of opportunities for you to chat with Kevin. So basically, you're paying $8,000 to chat with Kevin and maybe get the experience of flying on a plane, I guess. I don't even know if, I mean, let's be real. He probably is. This is what I honestly think is happening. I think some people he's probably taking on the plane, some people he's not. I don't know how he's doing or how it's working, but I'm pretty sure that a decent amount of people who are paying this are getting on that dang plane. He said, how soon can I shadow? How do I pick a day? Blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to see what you get. Here we go. So this is what you get. You get to ask Kevin anything. Finance, social media, YouTube, entrepreneurship, startups, and more. Keep in mind, this guy has no experience. So he's advertising, hey guys, ask me about finance. Ask me about entrepreneurship, startups, business, money. Ask me about all that stuff. But he's not qualified to speak on any of that. Sure, he's a financial advisor now, but all he did was take the test and become one. He doesn't have any actual formal training or any sort of finance background. He's also proven time and time again that he knows nothing about finance, nothing about stocks. Half the time he speaks, he knows nothing of what he's talking about. But because he's entertaining, because he's charismatic, and because he has a fan base of people who don't know much of anything, because all these guys have the exact same fan base, Jeremy LaFave, me, Kevin, Graham, Steph, Andre Jake, they all got the same fan base. All the people in the finance committee who don't know anything about finance and are too lazy to pick up a book and learn themselves, they just switch between the same 5 channels, you know? It's really, really unfortunate and sad. But he also says, experience firsthand how I run my finance, real estate, and media business. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys how he runs his finance, real estate, media business. Number one, he does not have a finance business, okay? Unless he's counting his ETF, which that doesn't really count, because I can tell you right now, all he did was he got a bunch of money that he made from YouTube. He funneled it into the ETF, and he paid for all the costs and all the other managers or whoever he has, associate managers, to help run the ETF. So I don't know what he means by how I run my finance business, but if that's what he means, that's how he runs it. Nothing special. Real estate, let's be real. His wife, her family is very big in real estate. He got into real estate at a very young age. I've talked to a few people who are very knowledgeable about real estate in that area. A lot of what they're saying is he just downright got it in the right time. That's why he made so much money. If you want to really impress me, I want to see him make money in real estate now. Show me that. And I don't think House Hack is going to be successful at all, but that's a different story. Media business. Media business is the only thing he's qualified to talk about. But wait, there's a problem. Most people are not cut out to have a media business. You have to be entertaining. You have to be good on camera. You have to be charismatic. You know, there's a lot that goes into running a media company. It is not easy to get on camera and talk. There are tons of people. YouTube algorithm has been recommending it to me recently. There are tons of people on YouTube who have been, you know, they have like 100 subscribers, and YouTube's just been randomly recommending me their videos, and I watch it and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy sauce click, you know, like no offense, but it's just true. You know, there are a lot of people on YouTube who have channels who've had like 500 subscribers for the last like 2 years. Like their channels haven't grown. And I say all that to say, it's not easy to get a media business. And by the way, you cannot teach that. I want to make that very, very clear. Paying somebody for a YouTube course is stupid. The only person I would pay for a YouTube course is Mr. Beast, because Mr. Beast understands YouTube so well and he's so good at YouTube. He could take somebody who's not charismatic and is not good on camera, and he could still make them make money on YouTube. He could still grow your views because he's that good. But somebody like me, Kevin, he's going to coach you in a way where you have to be like him to be successful. He's not going to know how to coach somebody who's boring into making a successful YouTube channel. How do I know this? All this guy does is turn on the camera and talk. Now, don't get me wrong. He is talented. He is. But how can you learn from somebody like this unless you're just as talented for him? He's not going to tell you things like, oh, you need to do this with your thumbnails. You need to go ahead and get this kind of editor, or you need to do this. He doesn't know that stuff. His channels die. Look at his views. His views are not doing that well. He can't even get 100K views on a video anymore. Like, come on now. Then he says, spend quality time with me and the team. His team is trash. We already know his team. We looked at it. We saw his team when they had that stupid podcast he was doing on his plane. He had like a few episodes. Most of you guys know what I'm talking about. You know, that little team was a bunch of random D-riders who freaking, you know, random people who just love him and watch him. They're not anybody with any sort of talent. I'm sorry. And then he says, who knows? It could develop into a valuable relationship. So now he's basically saying, hey, you never know. If you pay $8,000 to come shadow with me, who knows? Maybe you could turn a relationship, and maybe you could possibly get employed and work for me. That is literally what he's implying here if you read between the lines. Then he says, level up your standards and mindset. I don't know what standards and mindset this guy has, but okay. You'll be absorbing how I operate my day-to-day, how I operate my day and my philosophy on business, mindset, motivation. Dude, you blew up on YouTube. You're acting like you're Elon Musk or something. You're acting like you're Jeff Bezos. You're acting like you did something so incredible. Well, actually, let me back up. Building a YouTube channel is actually incredible. And the fact that he built it to 1.8, 1.9 million subscribers or whatever he said is great. But when you say philosophy on business, mindset, motivation, those are two different things. It's a different type of mindset, philosophy, whatever, idiosyncrasies to build a YouTube channel than it is to build an actual business and a mindset to be successful. Two different things, in my opinion. Two completely different things. For example, somebody like me with my skill set, and I think this applies to most people in the world. I think most people in the world this applies to. It would be much easier for most people to build a YouTube channel or a media business where you just get on the camera and talk than it would be to actually start a business. So when you frame it as philosophy on business mindset and motivation, I don't like that because I know this guy can't run a business. He sucks. House hack is going to fail. Okay. He had a construction business or something like that. It's back on his channel back in like 2019, failed. Okay. Most of the things this guy has done has failed. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I remember I made a video on it before, like all the different failures this guy had, but he's had a ton. The only thing he's actually been successful in, to be completely honest with you, has been YouTube. Like, that's just the God honest truth. Then he says, we might be on the move for today, so be prepared for anything. So this pretty much tells you right now, when he says we might be on the move, pretty much tells you everything you need to know. You're probably going to get on a plane. You may or may not get on a plane. Simple as that. So, yeah, it just blows my mind, guys, that anybody would pay for something like this. I mean, my God, dude, $8,000 to shadow some clown on YouTube for the day. It is absolutely insane. But I understand why it works, because the fan base, the people that he's targeting are the people who are naive enough and gullible enough to think that because this guy's a multimillionaire, he's smart. Those are the type of people he's going for. And unfortunately, those are the type of people who are paying money for this thing. And one thing that I learned from Andrew Tate taught me this. I learned this from Andrew Tate just by watching him. Andrew Tate showed me that there are a decent amount of young men out there who are making good money that will pay anything in order to hang out with somebody that they think can teach them how to be rich. You literally saw this with Andrew Tate. Vice did a documentary on Andrew Tate where the people had to pay $5,000 to fly to Romania to get their asses kicked. Seriously, look at the Vice documentary. They flew to Romania. And Andrew Tate made them get in a ring and get beat up. Now, obviously, Kevin's fan base is not that ridiculously extreme. But my point is, when you're charismatic enough and you have enough of a social media following and people really admire you and you're rich and they think that you can make them rich or make them like you because they admire you, they will pay anything. And that is the same thing that we're seeing with Kevin. Unfortunately, there are some people that are that stupid that they would pay $8,000 to shadow this dummy, to shadow this clown, to shadow this grifter. And that's all I really got to say. Absolutely despicable. What a crazy grift this guy's got going on. One day, this guy's bad deeds, the bad things that he's done, the bad energy he's put out, one day that's going to catch up with him. And when it does, I'll be here and we'll be throwing a party. And we'll be celebrating. And I don't know. Hopefully that day comes. I don't know. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.